The Carters' house was the kind of place you'd see in a magazine. Glass walls, sharp angles, perched on a hill like it was looking down on the rest of the world. It was beautiful, sure, but cold, empty. The kind of place where you'd feel like a ghost even when you were alive. I took the job because I had no choice. Tuition was due and my bank account was a joke. When they offered triple my usual rate, I didn't ask questions. I should have.
Ethan's already fed and bathed.
Mrs. Carter said, her diamond earrings catching the light as she tossed her purse over her shoulder. Her smile didn't quite reach her eyes.
We'll be back then, maybe.
And then they were gone, leaving me alone in that glass castle with their 8-year-old son. Ethan was quiet for a kid his age. He didn't argue when I told him it was bedtime.
I was never scared of the dark when I was a kid.
Pulled the covers up to his chin and stared at me with those big, unblinking eyes.
He always comes when they leave,
he whispered as I reached for the light.
He likes girls like you.
I froze.
Who?
No matter how much I prodded, Ethan didn't answer. Instead, he simply laid there, closing his eyes. Somewhat anxious, I returned to the living room and tried to focus on my textbook, but every creak of the house made me jump. At exactly 9 p.m., the doorbell rang. My heart slammed against my ribs. On the security monitor, a man stood at the door. Tailored suit, perfect hair, smiling directly into the camera like he knew I was watching. "Hi, Lisa," he said when I pressed the intercom. His voice was smooth, too smooth. "I'm Daniel, Ethan's uncle. I've already told Rachel. We'd just grab some files from the study and leave."
Hell no.
My stomach churned.
I wasn't told anyone would be coming.
"Call her if you want," he said, still smiling. "She'll tell you it's fine." I did. Mrs. Carter answered on the second ring.
Oh, Daniel. He's family. It's fine.
She said, laughing, but her voice was tight. I opened the door against my screaming instincts. Daniel was taller than I expected. "Thank you."
He wouldn't have
said
came
as he
nowhere
brushed
near my
past
door.
me, arm grazing mine. "This won't take long." But it did. Minutes stretched into an eternity. When I finally went to check on him, he was sitting in the study, not really doing anything, just staring.
Found everything you need?
I asked, my voice shaking. Daniel slowly stood up, stalking closer. "That's a lovely scent you're wearing." He sniffed, grinning. "Reminds me of someone." My blood ran cold. "You must be a student," he said, taking a step closer. "College is expensive, isn't it?" I nodded, backing away. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a thick stack of cash, tossing it onto the desk. $15,000, he said, licking his lips. "All for a night with me." I couldn't breathe.
I think you should leave.
"Don't be difficult," he said, stepping closer. "We both know you need the money."
Get out, or I'll call the police.
I said, reaching for my phone. His hand shot out, grabbing my wrist with crushing force. "No, you won't," he hissed. I tried yanking my arm back and screamed, but his grip tightened. "Scream all you want, Lisa. No one's coming. They never do. You're mine." I didn't think. I couldn't. I drove my knee up hard, aiming for anything, and bolted. The front door wouldn't budge. The security panel blinked red. Wrong code. Behind me, Daniel laughed, low and terrible. I ran to the kitchen, yanking open drawers until I found a knife. His footsteps were slow, deliberate, like he was enjoying the chase.
At least she got a knife.
You, he boasted. None of them were missed for days. I pointed the knife at him, my hand shaking.
Stay back.
He smiled, stalking forward. The last one had dark hair too. I threw the knife, not to kill, just to distract, and bolted up the stairs. Ethan's room was empty.
Ethan?
I cried, terrified. A small hand grabbed mine from the closet. Ethan's eyes were wide, his voice barely audible.
"He always does that,"
he whispered.
"He comes when they leave."
Heavy footsteps echoed on the stairs. Daniel's voice followed, sing-song and mocking.
"Somebody call
I can smell your
911.
fear, little girl." I grabbed the landline by Ethan's bed, my fingers fumbling as I dialed 911. The dispatcher spoke from the other side, but before I could reply, Daniel busted into the room, blood dripping from his shoulder with a knife that grazed him. In his hand was a zip tie. "You stupid, stupid girl!" he growled, lunging for me. Struggle ensured as he jumped on me. We both rolled out of the room, moving to the stairs. I kept punching and kicking him, but he was too strong. He dragged me down the rest of the stairs and pounced me on the hard floor. Just when I thought it's over for me, I heard cop cars. Daniel stopped and I noticed the color from his face fade away. "Who the hell called the cops?" He screamed in pain mixed with anger.
I did. I hate you, and I hate Mommy, Daddy too.
I saw Ethan standing on the stairs. He was crying, but when the police dragged Daniel away, he kept yelling how he'd get bail in no time. 6 missing babysitters over 3 years. The Carters were arrested as accomplices. Little Ethan was allotted to foster care while Daniel was given life imprisonment. But the real justice was served when he was found unconscious in a cell a week into his sentence, brain hemorrhaging from an undetected injury. He survived, but doctors say he'll never walk again. I visit Ethan time to time. He still doesn't understand that he saved my life. One day when he gets older, I bet he'll be proud of himself.
By the way, this is one of my first reaction videos, so don't judge me too much.
Emma's quite the storyteller.
Like and subscribe.
Mrs. Hayes laughed, checking her diamond earrings in the hallway mirror.
It'll get better with time.
What she says. Just going through a phase.
Mr. Hayes nodded, jingling the car keys. She's a good kid, though, with an overactive imagination. Attention-seeking, the therapist calls it. I forced a smile.
By the way, I'm Hill. H-A-I-L.
The house was stunning. Modern art on pristine walls. Furnitures that looked never used. That strange emptiness that comes with too much money.
We'll be back by midnight.
Mrs. Hayes promised, not quite meeting my eyes.
Numbers are on the fridge.
That's when I noticed her. 9-year-old Emma at the top of the stairs in a blue nightgown. Perfect blonde hair and eyes too devious for a child.
Hi, Emma. I'm Fiona.
I greeted cheerfully. She didn't smile back, just stared, tilted her head slightly, and went back to playing. Shy kid, I thought. But the moment the front door closed, the kid's posture flipped 360.
You shouldn't have come, Fiona.
She deadpanned. I laughed awkwardly.
Well, I'm here now. You want to show me around?
What's the point?
She shrugged.
You'll be dead soon anyway.
I gaped as she skimmed down the stairs, humming like she just commented on the weather. During dinner, Emma watched me from across the table, barely touching her food.
So, what's your favorite subject in school?
I asked, trying to break the silence.
Psychology.
She answered immediately.
I like to study how minds break.
I swallowed hard.
That's mature for your age.
That's what the others said too, before they left.
She replied, pushing her peas around.
Emma,
I said firmly.
Your parents mentioned you like to make up stories.
So do they. Like how they made up being my real parents.
Where are your folks then?
Her eyes darkened.
Buried in the garden. I watched Daddy dig the hole.
My fork froze halfway to my mouth. Just stories, I reminded myself.
Girls come to live in our basement.
She continued calmly.
I feed them scraps when Mom and Dad are sleeping.
I forced a laugh.
Let's finish dinner and maybe watch a Disney movie?
You don't believe me. No one ever does. Until it's too late.
I didn't believe her until I saw the scars. Emma was brushing her teeth when her dress slipped, revealing a network of thin, jagged scratches snaking up her arms.
What happened here?
I asked, genuinely concerned. She glanced down casually.
I did it.
That is a creepy little girl.
Hurt yourself? Why?
To practice.
She whispered.
When I do it to you.
My skin crawled.
Enough, Emma. That's not funny.
I quickly washed her up and led her to her bedroom, choosing to remain silent. Just one night, I told myself. I could endure the little weirdo a little longer. Little did I know it would stretch far beyond that. As I tucked Emma in, my hand brushed against something hidden under her pillow. A journal. I immediately snatched it away and flipped through the pages. My blood ran cold. The pages were filled with disturbing drawings, stick figures holding knives, splashes of red crayon smeared across every surface. But that page stopped me in my tracks. A crude caricature of me, my head severed, red crayon dripping from the neck. I didn't waste a second. My mind raced with questions. Could the kid be in danger? Were the Hays hiding something sinister? The basement door screamed for me. It was locked. I hesitated for a second, then reached for a bobby pin. With trembling hands, I managed to pick the lock. The basement was finished but oddly sparse. As my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I noticed a patch of carpet that seemed newer than the rest. Under a workbench, I found a small box containing IDs and credit cards belonging to different women, and a missing persons flyer with a photo of a young woman, a babysitter, who disappeared 3 months ago.
I would have kicked her ass
My
so
heart
far
raced
away.
as I pulled out my phone. No signal. Suddenly, I felt a presence behind me. Emma stood in the doorway, holding a butcher's knife in her hand.
I told you.
She snickered.
No one ever listens.
I pushed past her, running upstairs. I needed to get out, call someone. The front door wouldn't budge.
Stop running.
Emma said, following me slowly.
You'll be in a happy place. My parents will make sure of that.
I ran to the kitchen, grabbing the landline. Dead.
They disconnected when they leave.
Emma explained, swinging the butcher knife. I backed away.
Emma, stop it! You're sick!
And you're the cure. We do this every few months. Trap somebody disposable. See what happens.
We?
My voice cracked. Right then, I heard a car pull over in the driveway. Mr. and Mrs. Hays are back.
Me, Daddy, and Mommy.
Emma whispered.
I started with Mom and Dad. Daddy didn't stop me. Said we had to protect the family name, the estate.
Heavy footsteps moved closer to the porch.
They like to watch the videos after.
Emma continued, eyes darting to a tiny camera in the smoke detector.
To see how long the babysitter lasts.
I heard the main door open.
Emma, you need help. Your parents are wrong.
I demanded.
You should hide. That's what the last one did. She lasted almost an hour.
I ran for the bathroom, locking the flimsy door. I could hear Emma outside, giggling.
She's in there, Daddy. Go get her.
The door handle rattled. I climbed into the small window, forcing my body through. I tumbled onto the lawn and ran toward the road, blood soaking my sleeve. The last thing I saw before jumping the cab was the Hayes' porch light flicking on, and two silhouettes stepping out on the porch. I made an anonymous 911 call to report the Hayes after that night. I'm
That
still
scared
hoping
the shit
to
out of
see
me.
their arrest in the news, but deep down I have this feeling.
Well,
people with
good
money get
YouTube.
away
See you
with
next
anything.
time. Subscribe.
We were first